What is going on, YouTube? Welcome back to another video. It is your boy Coach Kai coming at you again with another banger, dropping some more gaming value as always. If you are new here, make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Stay tuned for more gaming value as always that we try to drop every single week on the road to 10K. Without further ado, let's get into this video, man. So today's topic, as you can see by the title, we got why your dating life is lacking, fellas. Okay, so this is a really good, important topic that I wanted to discuss with y'all, just to help y'all out as far as, vetting women out in dating life as advice and tips. So first one, we got confidence, right? So confidence all starts mentally, your mindset, right? A lot of dudes, I don't know what it is nowadays, but scared to approach women, scared to cold approach, right? But then there's also times that you do it. So I'm a big believer in not approaching women in the gym just because it's one of those things where you don't want to mess up your routine to where if y'all don't work out, you still got to see shawty, and it's not that you care, but it's just like people start to know, and what if you see another bad chick in there that you want to approach? It's just you get a bad reputation. And if you do it outside the gym. Maybe she's, walking outside the door or something. It just depends how you do it. And never do it exactly when she's working out, middle of a set, fellas. You already gonna get it irritated, especially if she's like a gym rat where she's going every single day or every 4 or 5 days a week, right? So there's places that you shouldn't, and then times and places that you should. So you always got to remember that as a man. You want her to be comfortable to where she's not like irritated with you off the bat. Like, why is he coming up to me when I'm working out? Why is he doing that? Because I talk to a lot of women too where they say, oh, I don't like to be approached, when I'm working out, especially when I'm, in the middle of a set. And that's something y'all got to think about, put yourself in their position. So, once she gets off that set, you go up to her, she's more easy and like not so tight, you know what I mean? So because a lot of women are like that, but confidence all starts with that mindset and then how you look and how you feel about yourself. So if you're not in the gym at least 4 or 5 times a week, eating that chicken breast, eating healthy, eat your veggies, taking care of your skincare and stuff, you're not going to be as confident as you should be. There's a lot of guys that lack confidence, so that's very important. But it all starts with your mindset, how you view yourself, and then lastly, how you want the other person to view you. So next one, we got consistency. Consistency is very important, fellas. A lot of us, I talk to a lot of women again to where they're like, oh, he's not really, he wasn't consistent. My ex wasn't consistent, or he's kind of switched up, or, he started to do different things. And he started to go ghost and then come back. Right, fellas? Your dating life will never improve if you're not consistent like that. That's why I say it's also important that, you don't have this big old roster to where you can't keep up. If you genuinely like that shawty, you should be consistent with her, taking her out to dates, vetting her the right way. If she's good to you, why not be good to her, right? So it's very important that you're consistent with that woman. But if you start to see signs where she's backing away, obviously don't go chasing after her, because then you're going to look like a simp. Because, a lot of these women, I'm saying all, but a lot of them, they like that attention and validation and entertainment to where they're like, okay, yeah, I done got him on the hook. Even though I don't want him, I'm using him as entertainment. When I'm bored, I'm going to hit him up whenever. You got to kill that right then, right there, and tell her what it is. If it's no communication with it, then it's not going to work out. But it's very important, if you like that shorty, make sure, you have that communication where you're consistent. I'm not saying you always got to splurge on her and stuff. Don't make it so much about the materialistic thing. If she's not cool after a while with the, just you seeing her and spending some time with her, and instead of, always having to splurge on her, and take her out to fancy steakhouses and restaurants, then she's not the one for you, G. And that's just her using you, because she's not wanting you for you. She's just wanting the life that you have to provide for her and the materialistic things that you have to provide for her. And this is why a lot of guys, they get caught up in a simp stage, because they don't understand that, because they're so hooked to how she looks. And plenty of beautiful women out there to where you don't have to be so focused on how she looks, fellas, and still get treated like a king. So next one we got is over talking, fellas. A lot of dudes out here over talking. Y'all be like talking the woman's ear off, okay? A lot of times they do not care, okay? It's a boundary to where, how much you talk to the woman. I'm not saying you just sit there awkwardly, but, talking her ear off and also making it seem like it's an interview is not going to help your dating life improve. And it's not going to get her to like you even more. She's just going to think he's annoying as F, right? So it's very important that, you have that capacity to understand, okay, maybe I'm talking too much, maybe I should, you know, kind of step back a little bit and then let her talk or let her speak, whatever, or, you know, maybe she can ask you some questions and kind of balance it out. But a lot of guys, they don't know that emotional intelligence. So emotional intelligence is huge. You have to be able to, you know, provide that intelligence to understand and pick up, okay, maybe I am talking too much. Maybe I should, you know, back up a little bit, because she does look kind of looking like she's getting like, oh, he's talking too much, right? Because a lot of women are like that. And, you know, but women can be very, how do I say this? Women can be very, you know, difficult at times, because sometimes they say, oh, he's too dry. And then other times they say, oh, he talks too much. So you kind of have to understand, but this all comes just from dating. So the more dating experience that you get with the women, because every woman is different, the more you're going to get better with that and understand and pick up on things like, okay, maybe I do need to, you know, relax and, you know, stop acting like it's an interview, asking her back-to-back questions like that, because that's very important. And, you know, it can also annoy her in the end. It can be a quick turn-off, fellas. So next one we can talk about is turning women off fast, kind of what I just said. You know, a lot of women, they get turned off very fast, and this can just be what? Over-talking, hygiene, right? Saying things that, you know, are just weird, or just making her feel creeped out or uncomfortable. You know, or, you know, I even had somebody say, I was talking to this chick a while back, and she said she didn't like the way the dude's pants was behind his shoes. She said that was a turnoff. She said they went on a lot of dates prior, like 2 or 3 days prior, and then that one thing turned her off and she stopped talking to him. So look, y'all gotta understand, a lot of these women, they have these like unrealistic, and you might think like, you know, pants behind your shoe, like that's gonna turn you off. But a lot of them, they just, especially when they like a 9 or 8 or 9, you know what I mean? You're high up there, look real good, you know, got the body, got the face, and then especially got the personality. A lot of them, they don't take that, you know what? So it's like you got to understand and pick up on that, right? So a lot of times they get turned off to the smallest things. So, you know, just doing things, you know, obviously, how is she supposed to know that his pants being behind his shoes was like a turn off? Obviously, he didn't really know that. In that case, you know, that's not really your fault. I mean, she just wasn't the one for him, and that's just kind of how that goes. There's nothing you can do about that, and definitely don't like go chasing her like, oh, I'm so sorry, like, you know, like don't do none of that. If she's clear as day not interested, just let it go. It ain't worth it. So last but not least, we got can't hold a convo, fellas. This is big. Being able to hold a conversation. How many times have we talked to a woman and she's like, oh, you know, I'm not used to a guy that's being able to hold the conversation, or, you know, being able to bounce back convos off me, or, you know, I'm doing this, you know, you're working together as a team to where, you know, you're having the flowful conversation, and it's not just one-sided. So being able to talk to a woman is going to get you through the door. So, you know, you can always, when you're out in public, say, oh, have a nice day. Even if you're not flirting with the woman, you know, it's okay to just wish her a happy, good day, or, you know, just telling her, hope you have a good one, or you look good today. You don't got to do it in a flirtatious way every single time, fellas. It's okay to, you know, be nice to a female and not have to thirst after her or lust after her, you know, at the same time. And that makes you a cold dude, because how many other dudes, when they see, you know, she got body and the face on her, how many other dudes is lusting after the woman, right? So you got to understand that. So that's very important. But that is going to be it for today's video. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and we out. Peace.